Rain had been falling over the city since sunrise, turning busy sidewalks into rivers of gray reflections. Hundreds of people hurried past without noticing the young homeless girl standing beside a small folding table, trying to protect a basket of homemade berry pies beneath a worn plastic sheet. Her clothes were soaked, her hands trembled from the cold, and exhaustion had painted dark circles beneath her striking blue eyes. To everyone else, she was invisible. But within the next few seconds, one glance from a passing billionaire would stop time itself. The moment he looked into her eyes, the world around him disappeared. His heartbeat raced, his face turned pale, and for the first time in 10 years, a memory he had desperately buried came crashing back with terrifying force. Before this incredible story continues, take a second to like this video, leave a comment telling us where you're watching from, share this story with someone who still believes kindness can change lives, and subscribe to the channel if you believe everyone deserves a second chance. Your support helps us bring more emotional stories that remind the world compassion still exists. The girl's name was Emily. She had no family photographs, no birth certificate, and no home waiting for her when the sun disappeared each evening. The abandoned warehouse where she slept leaked whenever it rained, but she still called it home because it was the only place where no one chased her away. Every morning before dawn, she woke up beside an old camping stove and baked pies using berries she collected from the edge of the nearby forest and flour donated by an elderly bakery owner who quietly believed she deserved a chance. Emily never begged. She believed people respected effort more than pity. Every pie she sold brought enough money for one simple meal and perhaps another day of hope. Across the city lived Nathan Carter, one of the youngest self-made billionaires in America. His technology empire stretched across continents, and magazines praised his intelligence and discipline. Yet no amount of wealth had ever healed the deepest wound inside him. Nearly 10 years earlier, the woman he had planned to marry disappeared without leaving a single clue. Police searched for months before declaring the case hopeless. Investigators believed she had either died or chosen to disappear forever. Nathan refused to believe either explanation, but eventually life forced him forward while grief quietly followed every step he took. He buried himself in work, pretending success could silence memories. That rainy afternoon, Nathan's chauffeur took an unfamiliar shortcut through an older neighborhood because traffic had completely stopped downtown. As their luxury car slowed near a crosswalk, Nathan absent-mindedly looked through the rain-covered window. He expected to see another crowded sidewalk. Instead, he saw Emily carefully wiping raindrops off the tops of her pies, trying to keep them fresh despite the storm. Then she looked up. Nathan froze. It wasn't merely that her eyes were blue. Thousands of people had blue eyes. It was the unique silver ring surrounding each iris, a rare feature he had only ever seen once before. His missing fiancée, Sophia, had possessed those exact unforgettable eyes. Even more unsettling was the expression inside them. Hope mixed with quiet sadness. Determination hidden beneath unimaginable pain. It was like staring directly into the past. Without thinking, Nathan stepped out into the rain. Emily expected another wealthy stranger preparing to ignore her. Instead, the man bought every pie in the basket without asking the price. She thanked him politely, assuming that would be the end of their brief meeting. But Nathan couldn't stop looking at her face. There were tiny similarities beyond the eyes, the shape of her smile, the curve of her eyebrows, even the way she tilted her head while listening. Questions filled his mind faster than reason could answer them. Rather than overwhelm her with strange questions, Nathan simply asked where she had learned to bake. Emily explained that an older woman had taught her years ago before passing away. She admitted she remembered almost nothing about her early childhood except fragments of songs, a silver necklace she once wore, and the comforting voice of a woman who called her Little Star. Everything else had disappeared from her memory after an accident she could barely remember. Nathan felt chills run through his body. Little Star. That had been his nickname for Sophia. Unable to ignore the coincidence, Nathan hired a private investigator that same evening. At first, he expected disappointment. Instead, every discovery uncovered another impossible connection. The elderly woman who had raised Emily wasn't related to her. Hospital records revealed Emily had been admitted after a terrible highway accident nearly 18 years earlier with no identification. Authorities assumed she was an orphan because no family ever came forward. Her estimated age matched perfectly with the timeline of Sophia's disappearance. The final clue arrived several days later. Doctors conducted advanced DNA testing using samples Nathan had secretly obtained from Sophia's parents years earlier, refusing to let hope completely die. The results stunned everyone. Emily wasn't Sophia. She was Sophia's daughter. Nathan struggled to breathe as doctors explained the impossible truth. Years before disappearing, Sophia had secretly discovered she was pregnant. While traveling alone to surprise Nathan with the news, her car had been struck during a violent storm. She survived long enough to give birth but suffered devastating injuries and severe memory loss. Believing no one knew who she was, authorities transferred her between care facilities under a different identity. She passed away only months later without ever recovering her memories. The newborn infant had been separated during emergency treatment and entered the foster system under an unknown identity. Emily had spent her entire life believing she belonged to no one. Nathan sat alone for hours holding the DNA report. He realized he hadn't simply recognized familiar eyes. He had recognized the last living piece of the woman he had loved beyond measure. When he finally met Emily again, he didn't arrive with cameras, reporters, or lawyers. He arrived carrying a small wooden box. Inside rested Sophia's engagement ring, faded photographs, handwritten letters, and the silver necklace engraved with the words "Little Star." The moment Emily held the necklace, tears filled her eyes before she even understood why. Deep inside her heart, forgotten memories stirred like distant echoes finally finding their way home. Nathan never tried replacing the parents Emily had lost. Instead, he became the family she had never known she still had. He helped her enroll in college, bought her a small apartment, and quietly funded her dream of opening a neighborhood bakery. But the greatest gift he gave her wasn't money. It was belonging. Months later, the grand opening of Emily's bakery attracted hundreds of customers. A photograph hung proudly behind the counter showing a smiling young woman named Sophia holding the same silver necklace Emily now wore every day. Beneath the picture stood a simple message. Kindness can change a stranger's life, because strangers are sometimes family you simply haven't met yet. People came for the pies but returned because every slice carried a story of hope, love, and second chances. Emily never forgot the rainy street where everyone looked away except one man who paused long enough to truly see her. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who believes in miracles, subscribe to the channel, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Your support allows us to continue sharing stories that inspire kindness around the world. Before you go, tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you were Nathan the moment you recognized Emily's eyes? Sometimes life doesn't return what we lose in the way we expect. Sometimes it gives us something even more precious, a reason to keep believing that hope can survive every storm, that kindness is never wasted, and that even the darkest chapters can lead to the most beautiful endings.